it's a natural conversation around them should be too. This Menstrual Hygiene Day, Radio City and Team Alembic, the makers of Krina NCR, invite you to join an open discussion on menstrual health, hygiene, and understanding your body better.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Period Talk with Expert, a special podcast series where we talk openly and honestly about women's health because understanding your body is very important. Well, I'm your host Avni, and today we are discussing about women's health, which is surrounded by myth, hesitation, and silence, which is menstrual health and hygiene. We'll also talk about normal periods, heavy bleeding, and when to seek medical advice, common gynecologist concerns which is not supposed to be ignored. Joining us today is Dr. Aparna, a practicing gynecologist with 17 years of experience. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. Menstrual health and hygiene is such an important topic for the overall health and well-being of women all over the world. And I think you are having this wonderful podcast on this wonderful topic.
Doctor, let's start with the basic. Many people still consider what normal period menstrual cycle feels like.
So a normal menstrual cycle can vary from person to person. So we say any cycle which is coming after 21 to 35 days can be normal. There are some people who can experience fatigue. Some people who can experience abdominal cramps during this cycle. The flow will vary from person to person. Anywhere between 5 to 7 days is also a normal flow. A flow which may be heavy for one person, may be moderate or even mild for the other person. So what is important is that the women should understand what is normal for them. And any variation in this normal cycle is what they should consider as an alarming sign, and they should meet a gynecologist immediately.
So, Doctor, you are trying to say that every women's cycle could look slightly different?
Exactly. Every women's cycle is going to be different. Like I said, some people may have bleeding for 3 days, some may have 5 days or 7 days. But what is important is for the women to understand their bodies. The body is always going to send an alarming sign or a signal to show that there is something different happening, and the women should not miss these signs and should visit their doctor immediately. That is what is important.
So doctor, let's talk about menstrual hygiene because till date many girls in their first period receive incorrect or incomplete information for the same.
Yes, Abhi, that's correct. The Supreme Court has recently directed all the schools, the colleges and workplaces to improve facilities for menstrual hygiene for women, and hence it is also included in the part of Article 21 of the Constitution where women's dignity plays a very important role, and this highlights the importance of menstrual hygiene right from childhood or right from the school days. It is important for in schools also for the girls to be taught about menstrual hygiene as early as 10 or 11 years of age. So when we actually talk of menstrual hygiene practices, there are simple practices which need to be told to all the girls. For example, regular changing of pads maybe every 4 to 6 hours. If the flow is quite heavy, then they need to change pads frequently. Cleaning and washing of their private parts with plain, simple water. Maintaining, having a bath and maintaining self-hygiene during this period, and avoiding any harsh soaps during this period. Taking care of menstrual hygiene is actually not just a part of hygiene, but it is also important to avoid infections. And hence this should be emphasized in all the schools as early as class 5 or class 6.
Well, doctor, that's such an important point. It shows that how menstrual cycle awareness is important at personal and social levels. Doctor, I would also like to ask that there are many women who physically travel, work, exercise. Is physical activity okay during periods?
Physical activity is absolutely fine during periods. There was a myth in olden days where women were not allowed to go out or step out of the house. But nowadays women remain active, go to work during periods. Even light exercise is allowed during periods. And like I've always said, they need to listen to their body, and if their body is allowing them to go ahead with the exercise and physical activity, they can absolutely do this. Girls and women, in the younger age, they're generally told that there is some dirty blood which is coming out of their body. So women need to understand, or girls need to understand at a young age, that there is nothing dirty about menstruation. And this is a natural physiological process, and hence they can continue with working, or whatever physical activity they can do during the periods.
Another thing, doctor, people don't usually connect with menstrual health and nutrition. And also, does diet really affect period or menstrual health?
Yes, nutrition is very important, and a good balanced diet will help in alleviating the symptoms of a normal menstrual period like abdominal cramps or easy fatigability. Having a well balanced meal, maintaining hydration is very important during periods. Many women are at a risk of developing anemia because of heavy blood loss during periods. So, whenever they are having a proper meal with green leafy vegetables, this will help to alleviate their symptoms. So hence, nutrition is of utmost importance for overall women's health, not just during periods, but for overall women's health.
So, doctor, what nutrients women should specially pay attention to?
Some key nutrients like iron are very important. Women should have a lot of green leafy vegetables. If they are non-vegetarians, then meat and meat products will also help in boosting the amount of iron they take. Iron-rich foods like jaggery are also important. Women generally will lose around 20 ml of blood during menstrual period, and maybe more if they have heavy menses. So supplementing with iron is very important. Apart from iron, maintaining good amount of calcium, vitamin D levels, and good protein supplementation is important. Fresh fruits, vegetables, and adequate hydration. All these factors are going to help women in their lives throughout the month as well as during their periods.
Many women feel tired during their periods and they assume that it's normal.
Mild tiredness and mild fatigue is normal during periods and can happen. But whenever there is excessive fatigue, excessive weakness or tiredness where a woman can't do her day-to-day activity, then this can indicate a deeper condition like anemia and will require medical evaluation. So during periods, anything which is going to affect the day-to-day life of a woman where she cannot go to work or school or college will definitely need evaluation, and there may be an underlying condition.
That's a very great advice, doctor. So, in short, menstrual health is not only about managing your periods but also taking care about your hygiene and diet along with timely medication. So, doctor, there is one topic about heavy bleeding which women think that is very normal.
Heavy menstrual bleeding means any bleeding which is going to interfere with the day-to-day activity of a woman. So generally, we say that if a woman has heavy bleeding and changing more than pads every 1 to 2 hours, passage of clots, and if the bleeding is lasting for more than 7 days, because we say that a normal cycle is between 5 to 7 days, so bleeding which is lasting for more than 7 days, if there is so much fatigue during the cycle where the woman can't do her day-to-day activity, all this will fall under the category of heavy menstrual bleeding, and this definitely needs medical advice and will need a medical evaluation.
Doctor, what is abnormal uterine bleeding?
So abnormal uterine bleeding, it can have a various conditions. For example, when the uterine bleeding is very heavy, like I just previously said, that more than 7 days, or where there is very heavy bleeding. If there is bleeding in between periods, if there is bleeding after intercourse or bleeding after menopause, so woman is menopausal and she has bleeding after menopause, all this will encompass into the category which is called as an abnormal uterine bleeding. Abnormal uterine bleeding may be because of hormonal imbalance. There may be conditions like polycystic ovaries, or deeper conditions like maybe a fibroid uterus or adenomyosis. So obviously this needs a checkup, it needs an evaluation to reach the diagnosis.
Many women usually delay visiting doctors. They think that it's normal after childbirth or very normal after a certain age.
Most of the women in India feel that after childbirth they do not need to visit a gynecologist, and they ignore the symptoms completely. So if women after childbirth or after menopause have any signs of an abnormal bleeding, visit to a gynecologist is a must. And for this, I think regular gynecological checkups once a year, whether the women have symptoms or not, is important, because once they go to a gynecologist is going to ask them about the menstrual history or the menstrual cycle, and that is the time when they will actually realize that yes, there is something wrong with the periods, and hence the gynecological visit is an absolute importance.
So doctor, apart from periods, What are those gynecological symptoms women should not ignore?
So, symptoms like severe abdominal pain or pelvic pain, maybe during periods or even in between periods. If the women have persistent discharge, vaginal discharge, it may be foul smelling or it may be yellowish discharge. This should not be ignored. Bleeding after menopause, excessive fatigue, and irregular cycles at any point in their time. These are the symptoms which may not actually be alarming every time, but they definitely need an evaluation and they should not ignore them.
And regular checkups also matter too, right?
Yes, like I've said, yearly gynecological checkups are important, not just during childbirth, but even after childbirth. Yearly checkups are important because factors like hormonal imbalances, nutrition deficiencies can be picked up during these yearly checkups, and it is really important.
Well, let's start with some fun myth versus fact rounds. Women should always avoid bathing during periods.
Well, it's an absolute myth. This was something women used to do in the olden days, but maintaining health and hygiene is important. So, bathing is a must during periods.
Severe period pain is always normal.
It's a myth, and severe period pain needs to be evaluated. And once we know the diagnosis, obviously can be treated.
Moving ahead, heavy period is something women have to tolerate.
Again, a myth. We have to evaluate, reach a diagnosis, and the woman doesn't have to live with a heavy period. So we can obviously treat that.
And lastly, talking about periods openly is a taboo.
Absolutely not. Here we are talking about periods openly. So it is something all the women should come out and they should talk about their health and their periods. So not a taboo at all.
So before we wrap up, is there a message you would like to give it to everyone?
Yes, I want to tell all the women out there that they need to come out and openly talk about the menstrual health, talk about their own health, and menstrual health is an important indicator of their overall well-being and their overall health. So I want all the women to just come out, listen to their bodies, observe that if there are any changes that during their periods, and go and visit a gynecologist regularly, which is important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for such a practical and informative discussion.
Thank you, Agni. Thank you so much for having me here.
And to all our listeners, your health matters, your questions matter, and seeking help is a sign of strength and not any hesitation. This was Menstrual Hygiene Talk with Dr. Aparna. Until then, stay informed, stay healthy, take care, you guys.